That is absolutely insane. Wow. What's going on, guys? It's New York Prepper here, and in this video I'm going to review my Smith & Wesson Model 500 pistol. This is the 6.5 inch barrel version of the 500 Magnum. So when you buy this pistol, it comes with this nice, blue case, which they put all of their revolvers in these cases. It's a nice little transport case. And here you'll see it has a little hole so you can put a lock through here and lock it up. Okay, I'll just show you guys the logo here. All right, Smith & Wesson. All right, beautiful pistol here. Okay, so I'm going to open up the box now and show you guys the pistol. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum with the 6.5 inch barrel, okay? And it's an absolutely beautiful pistol, probably the most beautiful pistol I can say that I've ever owned, except maybe my 44 Magnum. I'm pretty much stuck between the two. I love both of them. Those of you guys who have been watching my channel for a while will know that I have a 44 Magnum, and I absolutely love my 44 Magnum, and I wouldn't trade it in for the world for any other pistol. However, when it comes to bears, especially brown bears and hunting bears, or even just hunting large game, the 500 Magnum has no equal, okay? And that's kind of the reason why I got this pistol, is for bear defense and hunting large game, okay? Now, those of you guys who have been watching me for a while, you'll know that I used to have a 500 Magnum, and then I sold it like 2 years ago, and I wanted to get another one. I just wasn't sure which one I wanted to get, and I ended up settling on this puppy right here. So actually, I had a 500 Magnum. I bought a 500 Magnum in 2012, and I had it for a few years, and then I sold it in 2018. I sold it because I had the very long 10.5 inch barrel 500 Magnum, the Performance Center version, which was absolutely massive. With the 10.5 inch barrel, the pistol was just extremely unwieldy. You couldn't actually carry it in the field or, in a self-defense situation. It was a beautiful gun. It had that long 10.5 inch barrel, but with that long barrel, it was just impossible to carry in the woods or to use in a defensive situation against a bear. If a bear was charging you, you have to pull that long barrel out of a holster. You know, that 10.5-inch barrel, you got to draw that thing out and then orient it towards the bear. It's just not practical, in my opinion. You know, it's good. The 10.5-inch barrel, I loved it. It shot very accurately, and there's actually still a video on my channel in my firearms playlist of me doing a review of the 10.5-inch barrel version. And what I'll do is I'll attach that a link to that video on the top of your screen. You should see it if you want to check that review that I did of the 10.5-inch barrel version. But I already sold that one like 2 or 3 years ago, but I had it for a couple of years, and I primarily used it for black bear and white-tailed deer hunting here in upstate New York. And you know, I kind of bought it for the purposes of traveling out west or to Alaska, but then I realized that, you know, that 10-inch barrel was just not realistically, you know, I couldn't find holsters for it. It was impossible to carry. You know, it weighed 5 pounds. It was just way too big and long and heavy. So, you know, I needed to downsize a little bit, and that's why I got the 6.5-inch version, 6.5-inch barrel. This pistol right here, it has awesome balance to it, okay? So I'm going to attach some clips of me shooting to this video after I discuss the pistol. I'll attach some clips at the end and show you guys how it shoots and the accuracy, the power. I'm going to be doing a lot of penetration tests with different ammo for this pistol. So if you're a 500 Magnum enthusiast or you own one, stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to be shooting different types of things with it to see how well it penetrates. I'm actually going to be doing a penetration test against some 2x10s, which I've done penetration tests with my 44 Magnum and my 416 Ruger elephant gun. You know, basically I'm going to shoot this pistol, the 500, through some 2x10 lumber and see how many boards, how many 2x10 boards it can go through. And I'm going to recover the different bullets, and I'll post that up for you guys on my channel. So look out for that soon. So basically, you know, this, in my opinion, this is if you were to get a 500 Magnum, I would not go more than the 7 or 6-inch barrel versions. So this is in my opinion, this one has the best balance of, you know, weight and accuracy, because it has the 6.5-inch barrel. So with the 6.5-inch barrel, you're still going to get good velocity out of a lot of, you know, loads. The recoil will be a lot more manageable with a 6.5-inch barrel than a 4-inch barrel or 3.5-inch barrel, because you're going to have some forward weight on the front of the pistol, so it's not going to flip as much, okay? Another thing I like about this particular version is it has ports on the top, and it doesn't have a removable compensator, which I love, because you know, a lot of the compensators for the 500 Magnums, you got to take the compensator out, and you have to have a separate positioning of the compensator depending on whether you want to shoot jacketed or lead bullets. And to me, that's just a big negative, okay, because I want to be able to mix and match different bullets in my cylinder, and I don't want to have to worry about changing my compensator from one, you know, position to another to accommodate different types of loads. It's just much more convenient to be able to shoot anything I want, lead or hard cast, you know, jacketed or hard cast. You know, I don't want to have to bother with changing the compensator, okay? So, but here's the pistol itself, you know, and it has these ports on the top here. It has 6 ports, okay, so that helps with the recoil. And the weight of the gun is 3.75 pounds, okay, so it's not that heavy, guys. 3.75 pounds, that's, you know, only another pound or pound and a half more than a heavy Glock, okay, or a full-size 1911, which roughly weigh about 2 to 2.5 pounds. So, you know, this is only another pound to pound and a half from a standard, you know, full-size 1911, and to me, the weight is worth it. You know, when it comes to protecting yourself against big bears and dangerous animals, you know, or hunting large game, you know, I'm willing to carry an extra pound and a half or an extra pound if it means the difference between life and death, which it will, because the 500 Magnum is absolutely devastatingly powerful, and it's built to stop large bears. It's built to hunt bears. It's built for big game. All right, so a quick overview of the pistol now. So, you know, it has these Hogue grips here, which every Smith & Wesson comes with these nice Hogue grips. Okay, these grips are absolutely phenomenal. They really soak up the recoil. You don't feel the recoil in your hand. You know, it's a good, you can see how thick the rubber is here. You know, you're talking about a good ½ inch of rubber surrounding the frame here. Okay, so you have a nice thick rubber. You know, you don't get that vibration in your hands. It feels really good to shoot. The recoil is actually really not that bad. I wouldn't recommend this for a newbie shooter who's never shot a big bore revolver before. I would recommend that they start out with a 357 or a 44 mag, or maybe a longer barrel version of the 500 before going to like a more medium barrel version. You know, I wouldn't just give this to somebody who's never shot, you know, a big bore revolver, because shooting a big bore revolver is night and day from shooting a Glock 9mm or a 40 Smith & Wesson. It's totally different skill set. You know, recoil management and controlling the trigger squeeze is really important. You know, it's a night and day difference. So this pistol is obviously double and single action. All right, here it says 500 Smith & Wesson here. Okay, big writing here. I love that. This one has the polishing of the frame. As you can see, it's very shiny. And if you compare it to my 44 Magnum, which is also a Smith & Wesson, you could see how the difference in the finish. This is a matte finish, and this one is a polished finish. You know, you know, it doesn't really bother me that it's polished. You know, I'm not going to be using this in a combat situation where I'm worried about somebody seeing my reflection of my pistol. It gives it a nice appearance when you have that polished look, and believe it or not, it also prevents rust better when it's polished, because when the metal is polished, that means that there's less microscopic pores for salt and water to deposit and get stuck in those pores. So it's actually better for rust protection. You know, so here's my Performance Center 44 mag, and you can see this one has a matte stainless finish. Okay, so this one's more lower vis. You know, you're not going to see this thing reflecting from sunlight. And then here you have this one nicely polished. But what I really love about this one, the 6.5-inch version from the other 500 Magnums, is not only the compensator. I don't have to worry about changing the compensator. The size of the barrel is nice, but I love the look of it. You know, it has this nice, let me just get this case out of the way here, because it's kind of taking away from the beauty of the pistol here. So let me just get this out of the way. All right, just look at the beauty of this pistol here. I mean, it's just a beautiful pistol. It has that nice classic look. It kind of reminds me of a Model 29 44 Magnum, sort of like Dirty Harry's Model 629 or Model 29. It has that same classic look with the half underlug here. It's only a 5-shot revolver, okay? And the reason why it's only 5-shot is because the chamber pressures of a 500 Magnum have the same pressure as a rifle, okay? The chamber pressures go up to 50,000 PSI, all right, on some of the full power loads. And so they have to make the cylinder strong enough to accommodate that massive pressure. You know, 50,000 PSI is a massive. I mean, a 44 Magnum generates around 30 to 33,000 PSI. All right, so it's almost double the pressure of a 44 Magnum. So they had to really beef up the cylinder. And as you see, if you look at the cylinder, you can see how thick in between each hole. You know, you're looking at a 1/4 inch of steel. Okay, it's just a really beefy cylinder. It's also a very long cylinder. I haven't actually measured this, but I'm guessing it's probably like 2.5 inches long. So that's good because that gives you flexibility if you want to use heavier bullets that are really long, like 600 grain bullets or 700 grain bullets, which are pretty ridiculous. But, you know, if you ever wanted to do that, you could. So that gives you some flexibility here. Also, if you want to seat your bullets out further, like this one right here is a solid copper Dangerous Game bullet. Okay, this one's made by Buffalo Bore, and what they did was they seated the bullet further out, you know, so they could accommodate more room for the powder. Okay, so you know, but you could see that they seated it all the way out so they can maximize the powder space. You know, just because this is a copper or some type of alloy metal, and the bullets are longer on those alloy bullets are a lot longer. So that gives you more reloading flexibility, having that long cylinder. And the trigger is nice. It's not as smooth as my 44 Magnum or my other Performance Center 500. This is not a Performance Center 500, okay, just so you guys are aware. It's not a Performance Center 500. I'll just show you guys, made in the USA, Springfield, Massachusetts. There's the logo, 500 Magnum, okay. All right, I'll just show you guys the pistol a little bit more. Smith & Wesson 500. All right, it has the red ramp on the front sight here, okay. And the rear sight has a white outline, so you line them up just like so. I'm going to probably change these sights out for some tritium sights from a custom company called Tool Tech Gun Sight. They make custom night sights, and they made some for my 44 Magnum. Cost me about $250, but here's my 44 Magnum. I had them make these custom sights here with tritium vials in them. All right, so I could use this 44 at night. So I'm going to have them put on these types of sights on my 500. It's definitely worth the money in my opinion. I really honestly don't like the red ramp on these front sights, you know, just because red is just not really a good color in my opinion. I think white stands out better. Like if you look at my 44, if you look at the front sights, you could see on the 44 the white ring around the tritium vial. It stands out much better than the red ramp on the 500. Okay, so I'm going to try to get the same sights on my 44 on my 500. All right, and here you could see the difference in the finish. You know, the 44 has this you know, smooth finish here, the matte finish, and then here you have that nice shiny finish on the 500. I just want to compare the size of the 44, you know, next to the 500 so you guys can see the difference. All right, look at the difference in the cylinder. Look how much bigger the cylinder is compared to the 44. You know, you're looking at probably, you know, at least 3/4 of an inch longer cylinder than the 44 mag. All right, look at that. Look at the size of the cylinder. I mean, it's just a huge difference. And just look at how much thicker the cylinder is. All right, look at the 44, the difference in the thickness of the metal between the chambers. All right, between each hole in the cylinder. All right, you could see how much less metal there is in between each chamber on this 44. When you compare it to the 500, you know, it's just night and day. I mean, just look at that. And a 44 is not a lightweight. A 44 Magnum can stop a bear. It's a really powerful pistol, but when you compare it to the 500, it's just like, it's crazy how much bigger the 500 is and how much more mass it has, you know. Just look at the size of the cylinder, how much bigger the cylinder is. It's crazy. And just look at the frame size too. So the 500 has what's called the X frame, which is a specific frame that Smith & Wesson made just for the 500 and the 460. And the 44 mag has the N frame, okay, which is made for 44 Magnum and 357 Magnum. And just look at the frame. The frames are pretty much, you know, the 500 Magnum, the frame, you could see how much bigger the frame is. You know, when I say frame, I mean the section here behind the barrel, okay, going towards the grip. You know, you could see the frame is probably 25% larger than the 44 Magnum frame, you know. You can see the top strap on the 500, how much girthier the top strap is on the 500. I mean, this top strap is extremely thick. You know, it's absolutely gargantuan compared to the 44 when you look at them, you know, side by side. All right, you can see how much bigger the frame is here. But, you know, I love my 44, you know, 44, I love this pistol. This is more anti-personnel. This is more for black bear and smaller threats, all right? I love this pistol a lot. It handles well, it feels good in the hand. But when it comes to grizzly bears and large bears, protection against bears, this is what I want, okay? And the trigger is a little bit, I would say a little bit grittier because it's not a performance center, so the trigger is a little bit grittier than my 44. All right, just so you guys are aware, the chamber is clear. All right, so the trigger pull on the 44 is a lot more refined. You know, you can actually even hear the difference. I don't know if you guys can hear the difference. I mean, the trigger pull is pretty much the same as my Performance Center 44 mag, but it's just a lot more rough. It has just a rougher feel to it, which is not a big deal, but, you know, whatever. I mean, this pistol was about $1,500, so it's not cheap. But in my opinion, it's the best 500 that you can get. It carries very well with the 6.5-inch barrel. And, you know, like I said, guys, I got this primarily for bear defense when I'm going out west on, you know, hunting trips or even just hiking trips. All right. I'm actually going to be going to Montana soon, and I plan to carry this when I go hiking. All right. Because there's always bear attacks in Montana. Every year somebody gets attacked by a bear. So it's just really smart to carry one. And how would I carry this? Well, you guys have seen me carry my 44 in a chest holster, and that's how I'm going to carry this one. Okay, it's going to go right into this beautiful Gunfighters Inc. Chest holster here. Okay, and you know, you want your defensive firearm to be on your chest. Okay, because if a bear knocks you down, or, you know, you're in an awkward position, your pistol is always in a place where you can easily access it rather than on your waist or somewhere else, okay? So I'm going to carry it in this holster for even when I go hunting with it. I'm going to use this holster just because you know, I like to have this kind of pistol on my chest. The weight distributes better, it feels better. You know, you don't want to have this big hunk of metal hanging off your side. It's just going to catch on every branch, and it's going to start pulling your pants down after a while. So that's how I plan to carry it when I go into bear country. Okay, in this chest holster. And the draw is actually pretty fast. Even with this longer barrel, I can draw it out pretty fast, almost as fast as my snub nose 44 from that Kydex holster on the chest. And I'll attach a picture of that. I'll attach a video of that at the end of this one, so you guys can see how quickly you can actually pull it out in a defensive scenario. So I want to just do a little comparison of the 500 cartridge here. I want to show you guys some bullets here and some cartridges here. So here we have a couple of loaded cartridges here. Here we have a Buffalo Bore 440 grain hard cast. This is a bear load. This one's moving at 1,650 feet per second here. Or actually 1,625, okay? And here we have a Hornady 500 grain bullet, guys, okay? A 500 grain bullet. When have you ever seen a pistol be able to shoot 500 grain bullets? And you can go all the way up to 700 grains if you like. I think for me, realistically, 600 grains is the heaviest that I would ever go, because once you get up to 700 grains, the velocity is just really low, and you're going to give up penetration at that low velocity. But here's the 440 grain bear load, okay, from Buffalo Bore. This is a 500 grain Hornady XTP, all right. This has pretty good penetration. It's just a regular soft point. 500 grains, 1400 feet per second, roughly. Here is another Buffalo Bore. This is the Barnes XPB, I think. Yep, XPB. This is the Barnes XPB. This is a hunting load. It's a controlled expansion hollow point, okay, and it's lead free. So for hunting purposes, you know, this is what you want, so you don't have lead fragments inside of your meat. And then finally, we have the Buffalo Bore Dangerous Game Load. This is a 400 grain monolithic metal bullet traveling at 1,575 feet per second, generating 2,200 foot-pounds of energy. And this thing is absolutely massive. Look at how wide the muplat is. The muplat is the front section of the bullet here, the flat part. And just look at the devastation that would cause if you were to hit something with that, especially a bear. This is a monolithic metal bullet, and that means that it's just one solid piece of metal. There's no jacket, and this is made for extreme penetration. And one thing you will see on the 500 Magnums is if you're going to be reloading for these, which I am going to, I already have reloading dies, and I have some powder coming in. I have some H110 that I'm going to be using. You know, you need to use large rifle primers, okay? You have to use either large rifle primers or you have to use large Magnum rifle primers, all right? I personally am going to use large Magnum rifle primers because they ignite better in colder weather and it's more of a guarantee of ignition. But it's just incredible that you have a pistol that's using rifle primers, okay? It's using the same primers that, you know, a 300 Win Mag or 30-06 would use. So, I mean, it's just absolutely monstrous, these bullets, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little comparison now, and I'm going to show you guys how big they look compared to other pistol bullets. All right, guys, I got some bullets here, pistol bullets. Here we have a 9mm, so we'll start with the 9mm. All right, this is just a standard, I think it's 115 grain full metal jacket 9mm, and we're going to compare it to the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum bullets. I mean, you can see there's just literally no comparison. I mean, just look at the size here. Look at that, okay? Look at the size of these 500 Magnums. And look at this little pipsqueak here. This wimpy little 9mm. All right, there's literally, I mean, it's just absolutely insane how small the 9mm looks compared to the 500 Magnum. And then if you compare the diameter of the case, all right, just look at the size of the 9mm compared to the 500 Magnum. It's just no comparison at all. All right, look at how much smaller. Look at how much smaller that is. All right, it's just, it's funny. It's almost kind of funny. All right. All right, now what we'll do is I'll show you guys some 44 Magnum bullets. So here I have this is the 440 grain Buffalo Bore 500 Magnum. Here's the 300 grain 44 Magnum, also Buffalo Bore. This is the 300 grain, I think it's 305 grain hard cast 44 Magnum. This is the 440 grain hard cast 500 Magnum, and then here is the 9mm compared. Okay, you can see the difference here now. Okay, and I mean, just look at the size differences here, even just between the 44 mag, which was, you know, one of the most powerful cartridges in the world for a long time. All right, you could see the difference in, first of all, the case length. 44 Magnum has a much shorter case. All right, the Smith & Wesson has a 1.6-inch case, but just look at the girthiness. All right, look at how much more thick the 500 Magnum is. I mean, it's just crazy. And look at the muplat, okay? Look at this is the 44 Magnum 300 grain hard cast. This is no slouch. This is not this is a powerful bullet, okay? Powerful cartridge. And look at the difference in the muplat here, okay? Look at the thickness, the girth, okay? Look at that. Look at the case head, the size of the case, the diameter. You know, it's crazy. And then if we compare the 9mm, there's just no comparison at all. Okay, it's just totally out of the league. The 9mm is totally not even anywhere near the size of the 500 Magnum. Okay, all right. So I want to also compare the 500 to some rifle bullets I have too. Here's I have some rifle bullets. Here's a let me show you guys some of the. This is a 4570 here. 430 grain 4570 on the right side. You could even see the 4570 kind of looks small compared to the 500. I mean, just the case thickness of the case of the 500 is just a lot more girthy. If you look at that, obviously the 4570 has a longer case and overall length is longer, but you could see the thickness of the bullet here. You know, this is a 50 caliber bullet, okay? 4570 is a 45 caliber bullet. I mean, you could just see the difference in the thickness of the bullets. Okay, look at that. This is a 440 grain bullet. This is a 430 grain bullet, the 4570. We can also compare it to the 500 grain. This is the 500 grain Hornady. Okay, I mean, it's just absolutely monstrous. All right, it's a monstrous pistol. Cartridge. And then here I also have a 416 Ruger, which is an elephant gun cartridge here. Okay, you could see even next to the elephant gun cartridge, it's still holding its own. You know, it's not really doesn't look that much smaller. Here I have a 300 Win Mag. Okay, 300 Win Mag here. 4570. Let's actually just organize it here. All right, so you know, I mean, it's crazy, guys. I just can't believe how massive this cartridge is, you know. And I mean, I had my 500 before, but I never really I couldn't compare it to an elephant gun. I just recently bought an elephant gun, and now I can compare the size. This is the 416 Ruger, which generates 5,500 foot-pounds of energy. And this is the 500 Magnum. You know, you can see it's still quite big compared to the 416, which is a monster cartridge in its own. And then next to the 300 Win Mag, you know, you can see it's quite large compared to the 300 Win Mag. Okay, so you know, I hope you guys enjoyed my review, and I also have these speed loaders from 5-Star Firearms. Okay. And they hold 5 cartridges in each speed loader, and I plan to carry them in this Frontier Leather Works this nice leather case here. Okay, pouch. Okay, nice pouch. And you know, I'm gonna wear this when I go into bear country. I'm gonna wear this leather pouch on my weak side so I can have access to reloads. If you guys are gonna get yourself a 500, I highly recommend you get the 5-Star speed loaders for it. And this pouch is really nice. It's kind of big, but it's well made. As you can see, it's got this these thick loops here. All right, this is Frontier Leather Works is the name of the company that made this pouch here for the 500 reload speed loaders. Okay, and these are the 5-Star Firearms speed loaders here. If you guys are interested in 5-Star Firearms, I'll attach a little contact information in the description box down below. I'll put a link, but there's 5-Star Firearms. I believe they're out of Illinois, actually. All right, so here's that speed loader. And just look at how massive that speed loader is. It's absolutely gargantuan. Okay, I mean, it's just absolutely huge. If you could, all right, you could see the speed loader here for the 44 Magnum. You can see how much smaller it is. I mean, just look at the difference. Okay, this is the 44 Magnum speed loader. This is the 500 Magnum speed loader. All right, look at the difference in size between the bullets here, the cartridges, okay? Absolutely massive. So stand by, guys, and I'm going to attach some shooting videos and also some videos of me drawing from that nice holster, the Gunfighters Inc. Kenai chest holster. I'll attach a video of me drawing from it so you can see how well you can draw from a chest holster with this. This 6.5-inch barrel, it just has it handles very nice. The weight is good. And actually that heavy barrel helps to stabilize the sights nicely, because it has some weight here, and it just helps keep the gun steady, versus a pistol like this lightweight, short barrel pistol. Believe it or not, it's hard to keep the sights very stable because it's so light and the barrel is so short. And not a long barrel like this will help stabilize the sights better. And it's just a beautiful pistol here. Absolutely love it. So, and obviously it's also a single action, so you can go single action. If you want to go single action, you can do that as well. When you go on single action, the trigger pull is absolutely nothing. It's barely anything. So stay tuned, guys, for some more footage. Thanks for watching. Alright, guys, so here's the pistol on my chest. You can see it doesn't really take up that much room. I'm a big guy though. I weigh 250 pounds and I'm 6'2". This might take up more space if you're a smaller person, but for me it fits well, it carries well. This is the Gunfighters Inc. Kenai chest holster. Okay, it has this nice elastic band here, okay, and it has elastic bands on the back. So you can, when you're moving, it moves with you, okay? And if you're wearing a backpack, there's nothing on the straps that are going to dig into your back, so it's very comfortable. So I just want to show you guys how quickly it draws, even from such a big pistol from the chest. This 6.5-inch barrel is still very comfortable to draw, and you can get it out of the holster quickly. So this is what you want to carry this is the way you want to carry when you're in bear country. You want to have that pistol on your chest. If the bear jumps on top of you, you still have the pistol right here. No matter what you're doing, you can grab it, okay? If you're sitting down, if you're in an ATV, or you're on a horse, it's always here where you need it, okay? No matter what position you're in, if you're sleeping by a campfire and you fall asleep and you wake up and there's a bear, it's starting to chew on your leg, you have that holster right here. So I want to just show you how quickly you can draw the pistol out from the holster, okay? So just watch this. Ready? Okay. I'll do that again so you guys can see. All right. And one more time. Okay. And the retention is really good on this holster. It's very well made. It's not, a cheap holster, so be ready to spend money on it. But if we're talking about life or death, you don't want to go cheap. You want something that's going to actually work when you need it to. So I'll just do one more draw for you guys, and then I'll attach some shooting clips. And be sure to check out my penetration test. I'm going to be shooting this pistol through some boards to see what kind of penetration it has and different loads. Okay, so be sure to check that video out. It's going to be in my range and shooting videos playlist. All right, and I'll also attach a link up above, so if you want to watch that, you can. All right, so here we go. One last draw so you guys can see. All right, here we go. All right, so you can see how quickly I can get this big pistol out. It's pretty amazing, actually. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and thanks for watching, and stay tuned for some shooting clips. All right, guys, I'm out here on the range, and I want to show you guys the recoil and how this 500 Magnum shoots. I'm just sighting in the 500 now, and I wanted to show you guys the groups here. These were the first two shots. I was aiming right here, so the sights are a little bit high from the factory, as you can see, and then I took two more here. Okay, so I noticed with the 500s that the sights are always a little bit high from the factory. Okay, when I had my 44 Magnum, when I first got my 44 Magnum, it was also shooting a little bit high, and also when I had my previous 500 Magnum, it was also shooting a little bit high. So if you guys are thinking about getting a 500 Magnum or any Smith & Wesson revolver, big bore revolver, just know that they come a little bit high from the factory for some reason. So you gotta, at least in my experience, so you always have to crank down that rear sight to drop the point of impact. All right, but as you can see, the accuracy is very good. This is only 10 yards, but you know, very good accuracy. All right, guys, so I would say that the recoil on this 6.5-inch 500 Magnum with full power loads, it's similar to a 44 Magnum, a bare load from a 44 Magnum out of a small revolver. So the 500 grain Hornady XTP pretty much has a similar recoil to the 44 Magnum bare loads that I shoot out of my 3-inch snub nose that I was showing you guys. So, but what round that I really like is the Buffalo Bore 400 grain mono metal. That one's really nice to shoot. It's very comfortable, and it'll still take down a bear or large game, but it just doesn't have that full power recoil. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and thanks for watching. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.